What is it like to play Star Citizen completely alone? No one to revive you when you go down in a gunfight, no one to share the damage when a boss hits you harder than you can, and no one to tell you what the hell is even going on. You learn every mistake the hard way. Alone. In the wild, few creatures venture out alone, but we found one such specimen we could track. Scientists have observed that even if you were to place this creature among its own kind, in a crew, in an organization, it would not stay. Given the first opportunity, it would turn away from the group and march deliberately back into isolation. Now, one should not feel sympathy for the solo player. It is by available measures content in its isolation. It requires no companions and no assistance of any kind, and when it interacts with inanimate objects, it does so not as a symptom of loneliness, but as a matter of preference. There exists a distinction often overlooked between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is a condition of absence, the awareness of a connection desired but not present. The solo player then presents a curious case. Its isolation appears indistinguishable from loneliness, and yet it exhibits none of the expected distress. One is forced to conclude that it is not alone because it has failed to find others. It is alone because it has decided that this is enough. Since the beginning of civilization, us humans have thought about isolated individuals as weird and different. They are evil witches and wizards living alone in the forest. But to our surprise, we discovered that they actually do good. Or at least our specimen did. It was on a mission to retrieve the Schleppstein files. Unfortunately, every generation has its own Steen that, plays with children. So every generation has also the duty to retrieve the files. And space pedos often hide in bunkers on moons. We asked ourselves what the loner did to make the rich space pedos open the doors for it. We figured it just told them that it was underage. Its landing abilities, as well as everything else, is of course self-taught. Following its principles, it always has to figure out failing by trying and not by asking. After exiting its single-seat ship, of course, it had to navigate to the research wing, as the special files it was searching were probably right there. And I am asking myself what space pedophiles have to research, but I'm just a space narrator, so whatever. ASD stands for asshole sucking dick, which is double gay if you think about it. Now the loot had to penetrate deep into the facility since the files were probably hidden at the ground. But how's there ground in the bunker? Also, loot is spelled L-U-D-E, like lonely dude. Elevators are statistically one of the safest modes of transportation ever devised, roughly 20 times safer than escalators despite the common fear of them. The lonely Fellerino made its way to something looking very promising. The inside of a building, but not in a building, but underground. And now for the first time in weeks, it engaged real people. And in classic loner fashion, these people had to be eliminated. Sadly, no one could tell it that the weapon it was using was quite unoptimal, and it had to learn the hard way. As you can see, it did learn, now using another weapon. Knowledge acquired through failure is retained far more reliably because the mind encodes the pain of the mistake alongside the lesson itself. What you struggle to learn, you rarely forget. The creature wandered through the endless tunnels and corridors, and we researchers found it interesting that it was so dedicated to help those people who are in need. It is fascinating to imagine that even the most isolated people have the social motive to help. Just look at Batman. Loneliness is his superpower. Even though he has so many people that love him. This is a common law in physics. If you're loved by the masses, you can't have many friends. But Batman knows about this. He has an entry on page 34 in his rulebook for that. Just look up Batman Rule 34. Being alone is often very scary. Back when our species used to live in caves, being alone meant death. So it is engraved deeply in our DNA to be scared of solitarity. Those who are alone often are seen as prey, being ambushed by multiple predators, literally, if you were following the storyline. But it does have its advantages. A single target is not only harder to hit, but also more difficult to locate. A lone warrior doesn't have to use up its neural capacity to adapt to the group's fighting style. It can just go John Wick. See, that's another historical figure of somebody fighting alone. All of it carried by the risk of being incapacitated with no one to help you. And that is exactly why the alone are so religious. They know that God will always give them a second chance. Amazing grace. Scientists say that seeing the color red makes you more horny. This elevator leads to the sex dungeons. Scientists also say that money makes you more freaky, which is why all the millionaires and billionaires are, well, they're really great, especially because I'm posting this on their platform. No one told the subject where to go, but it knew how to trust its intuition. The more resistance it faced, the closer it came to its goal. Because resistance equals value, holy Andrew Tate, what the f... It had stumbled upon the ancient law that everything worth having must be earned. Nothing good comes easy. The people who promise otherwise, who swear there's a shortcut to becoming rich or happy, are only ever selling a lie. An university degree makes no one wiser on the day it is handed over, and the paper is only proof that work was done. Respect, skill, and trust. None of it is given. And whatever is given freely and unconditionally tends to be worth exactly that. Even love. It's impossible to be lonely after understanding this. Being careful in a gunfight doesn't mean you will never get hit. And the pain from the bullets piercing through its body made our little guy addicted to opioids. And it only later realized that these pain medications had impact on its vision and movement. And yet again, somebody could have told it that. But admiring these cave walls high on drugs was one of the best experiences it ever had. These rich, weird people really do have taste. There's no honest denying that drugs feel good. The warmth floods in, the weight lifts, and for a while the world softens into something kinder than it ever was. Nothing that takes so much and asks so little in the moment could have ever intended to give the feeling back for free. If you never tried them, please never do. Except when you're about to die, then do as many as you can. Our hermit's mission was far from over. After visiting a rehabilitation station, he went back to the facility. Again, he had to fight through endless lines of billionaires with weapons and pictures of blackmail for other billionaires. If all the rich people just developed trust among each other, they would be unstoppable. But becoming rich is impossible with trust. And now, the Wanderer had to do all of that again. And then again. And then again. And do you know what he has lost? Nothing. People might say, oh, he lost time. But how could you lose time? Time moves forward if you want it to or not. Downloading the first batch of the files, the unaccompanied finally made its first step towards uncovering all of the evidence. The wealthy had a weird habit of hiding their secrets in sequences of doing chores. But they have just cut themselves thinking that that would stop our introvert from exposing them. And every time I hear or say the word exposing, for some reason I have to think of women exposing their breasts. At this point, our individualist realized that it was futile to do these tasks. It had to do them over and over again, until he gave up. Or at least that was the plan of the rich, thinking that an average dude would not waste its time like that to help little children. Now the producers have decided to replace this part with a big-ass snake. The actual thing our traveler had to see was way different and way worse. And the worst thing is, I had to see it too. I mean, I had to review the footage to make this documentary. I mean, I wish I didn't saw it, but the more I looked at it, the worse it got. I've been trying to figure out how to even describe it, but it makes sound... It was so messed up you had to be there, that's why I'm not exaggerating. Never being tired, never being exhausted. Our outcast tracked down every single bunker, to track down every single molester, and it would only be satisfied when all of them were behind bars or in their grave. Raise a glass, if you will, for our lonely protagonist. When others were unwilling to bear the cost, this one stepped forward. Imagine having no wife to celebrate your return, and imagine hearing no voice that says your accomplishments mattered. Across every corner of this galaxy, these lonely people carry burdens others refuse even to look upon. And they do what they do because someone has to do what they do, and because they possess the strength to stand firm when it matters most. After following a trail of breadcrumbs, it finally found the missing piece of evidence for prosecution. Now they say isolation makes you insane, but am I really insane? Am I really a narrator for a documentary? Or am I just talking to myself the whole time while I do what I have to do? This chamber seemed unnecessary to me since it was only the entrance to a small cave. But as I would soon realize, this was not a normal cave. It was the hiding spot of something evil. Something evil like in Harry Potter Episode 2, the Chamber of Evils and Big Snakes. Whoa, big snake. The big snake was not happy at all about me shooting it with my magic wand that shoots lightning, and then it decided to eat me. But for me that was just another fail. Another chance to try something new. Another option to make myself become better. And as the whole premise of this thing is, I never gave up and kept trying, and then sometime I made it, and yeah.